Back in May, the newest theme park in the world opened called Universal's Epic Universe. Recently, a few people told me they had a horrible time here and wouldn't go back. That shocked me. We were there opening weekend in May and had an amazing time. I'm not a hater of this park by any means. But back then, Universal was keeping attendance low, probably in an effort to get good word of mouth. Fast forward 3 months and the picture looks very different. When I checked the latest reviews, I was stunned. This park, which was hyped as the Disney killer, is now the lowest rated theme park on TripAdvisor, and not by a little. You won't hear this from most theme park vloggers, but a lot of guests are walking away disappointed. Now yes, it's brand new, so hiccups are expected. But if you're planning a trip soon, you should know what you're in for before dropping serious money. Today, I'll break down why Epic Universe is getting slammed in the reviews and also give credit where it's due, because it does get a lot of things right. By the end of this video, you'll know if you should visit Epic Universe over the next year or you should wait for things to improve. Let's jump in. First off, let's look at where Epic Universe stands in the landscape of theme parks. When we look at the ratings on TripAdvisor of Universal theme parks globally, you can see that Epic is currently at the bottom, clocking in at 2.1 out of 5. What's shocking about this is the fact that Volcano Bay is ahead of it in the reviews. That's not to say Volcano Bay is bad, but historically speaking, water parks often rank lower than theme parks. When we look at the Orlando theme park landscape, you can see that it is well behind Universal's original theme park, Universal Studios, and their second park, Islands of Adventure, as well as all the Disney World parks, including their 2 water parks, and even SeaWorld. When we look at the total global landscape, hated parks such as Disneyland Paris and Walt Disney Studios are still way ahead of where Epic is today. And to make matters even worse for Universal, here is a look at where Epic Universe ranks among Six Flags locations in America. It is still at the bottom. I'm going to break down 6 reasons why I think this is happening, but I'm also curious to hear your own thoughts down below. So number 1 is the price. This is one of the most expensive theme parks you can visit, comparable to a Magic Kingdom day ticket. But the thing is, Magic Kingdom has days full of things to do, whereas Epic Universe can easily be done in one day, in my opinion. Express passes for the park average $240 per person per day if you purchase ahead of time, and go all the way up to $340. If you want to buy it in the parks the day of, the price is even higher. The pass is not unlimited and only gives you bypass for 8 of the 11 rides, leaving off 3 of the most popular in the park: Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry, Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, and Dragon Racers Rally. Currently, the average cost of a non-private VIP tour is $550 per person, but goes up to $650. Keep in mind, you still need to purchase that expensive day tickets. To make matters worse, the tour is only 4 hours in length. Compare this to our Universal Hollywood VIP tour that costs $400. Our ticket was included, and it was 7 hours that took us behind the scenes at an actual studio lot. Epic's standard VIP tour is the most expensive in any Universal theme park and rivals that of Disney World private VIP tour, if you have a lot of people in your group and you break it down by hour. Private VIP tours are even more expensive, but at least with these tours you do get to skip the lines, except the meet and greets. To give you an idea of the cost, if you or I were to book a standard VIP tour on November 25th, 2025, it would cost $898.85 for the tour and the day ticket per person. That's nearly $1,000 to visit a theme park for a day, and that is staggering. For a family of 4, this would be nearly $3,600. Would you pay that much? Number 2 is entertainment, which I think is really lacking at this park. So first off, there are not enough performers in the lands. When they do show up, they are incredible, like Rough Nut, Tough Nut, and Gobber in Isle of Berk, Igor and Invisible Man in Dark Universe, and some random school characters in Wizarding World of Harry Potter. However, there doesn't seem to be enough, especially when these characters are having long conversations with guests. In theory, that's amazing, but in practice, it means a limited number of people are interacting with these characters. The second negative is surrounding the meet and greets. Now, don't get me wrong, the meet and greets they have are fantastic. You have Toothless, which is an incredible animatronic that moves and feels like you're actually meeting him. You have Mario, Luigi, Toad, Princess Peach, and Donkey Kong in Super Nintendo World, and you have the Bride and Frankenstein in Dark Universe. Again, these are all great, with a caveat. They are all outside. That means when lightning is in the area, or in the case of Super Nintendo World, even if it rains, the characters are not able to meet. To make matters worse, you're waiting outside in the hot Orlando weather to meet these characters, and in some cases with no shade whatsoever. And the third point around entertainment is the shows. There are only 2 shows in the entire park. The Untrainable Dragon is incredible, but the Fantastic Beasts show is lacking, especially since the pre-show is long and has you standing the entire time. The fact that there are only 2 shows in this park is particularly awful when there is bad weather in the area and 60% of the attractions are closed. There is really nothing but shops and restaurants to swallow up the crowds. Having even just 2 more shows at the park would go a long way. The third point is rides, starting with the variety. There are not many. Like I mentioned, there are only 11 rides in this park, and most of them are outdoors, leading to weather delays. When we were visiting, there was one day where 60% of the attractions were closed due to weather. This problem is particularly pronounced in the summer months as Orlando gets a ton of thunder and lightning storms. If you've ever been there, you know. Then you have the quality. Most of the rides that are here are not anything mind-blowing with a few exceptions. Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry is extremely overhyped in my opinion. The queue is hands down one of the best in the world, and it uses incredible new technology. But the ride is a bit boring and causes motion sickness in many people, myself included. Donkey Kong Minecart Madness is a carbon copy of the one in Japan and far too rough. Whether it's designed to be or not, it doesn't matter when that's all you can think about when you get off of it. The Constellation Carousel is neat, but at the end of the day, it's still just a slow-moving carousel with low capacity and long load and unload times. Stardust Racers is an incredible roller coaster, but it has minimal theming and is not designed with everyone in mind since it is so intense, therefore limiting its appeal. Dark Universe, while amazing to me, is too small and has a very niche appeal. The Werewolf roller coaster has very low capacity, leading to incredibly long lines for an incredibly short thrill. Monsters Unchained, on the other hand, is an incredible experience, and Universal really knocked it out of the park with this one, including the queue and the pre-show. And this may sound strange, but there are too many stairs. This park has stairs everywhere, especially in attraction lines. It's become a running joke online with memes on TikTok and Instagram.
For leg day at Epic Universe, because there are so many stairs.
This makes it especially inconvenient for people with disabilities and leads guests to expend more energy than is needed, resulting in crankier attitudes. The fourth is lack of shade. There's no shade here, period. And because the lands are so spaced out, you're often in the open sun walking to your next destination, which can be extremely draining. Andy and I never take breaks from the parks. We're always go, 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 get everything done type people. But we got so exhausted at Epic that we indeed needed to go back to our hotel to take a midday break. Now, you will have people saying it's a new park and things need time to grow, and that's very true. But that will take 10 years to happen. I am reviewing the park as it stands today and giving you the most amount of information possible so you can make an informed decision. People still have the same complaint about Toy Story Land over in Hollywood Studios 6 years after it opened. The fifth point, lines are too long. Because the park is large in size and there are not a lot of things to do, this creates massive lines to do anything. Ride a roller coaster, meet a character, get into a show, and even just sit down and eat some food. Even if you have an express pass, Universal claims that it will take you half the amount of time shown on the sign. When an attraction is at 180 minutes, that means you're still waiting in a 90-minute line after all that money you dropped to skip it. And finally, point number 6, the dining. Now, before you get angry at me in the comments, let me say up front that I think Epic has some of the best theme park food, period. It's shocking to me that Universal finally got food right. Here's hoping this extends to studios and islands in the near future. However, I would be remiss not to bring this up as a point because a lot of people are having issues with the dining. There are long lines just to get tables, you're being forced to mobile order, and you're not able to customize orders in the app. There were many food items I wanted to try while I was there, but because of an allergy or an ingredient I didn't like, I wasn't able to order it. Now I know people are going to say you can go up to the cast members and request an ingredient be left off or talk about allergies, but that is very inconvenient. Those were a lot of negatives. To balance this out, I'd like to share 6 positives about the park since I really did have a good time when I visited back in May. The park is huge and gorgeous. It really doesn't feel like any other theme park. It's unique, and that's really awesome. The team members are super friendly and are well trained. All the lands are extremely immersive with hidden details everywhere. The park really comes alive at night, and it's full of beautiful lighting and effects. The layout is amazing for future expansions. And again, the food tastes amazing throughout most of the park. So here's the thing. Do I think Epic Universe deserves a 2.1 on TripAdvisor? Absolutely not. But I can understand why people are not having a good time and feel the need to post reviews about their experience. Because of the price you're paying to be there and the experiences you've had at other parks, your expectations are high and you can easily be let down. Imagine flying to Orlando, paying for a hotel, paying $200 for a day ticket, $320 for express, and checking the app to plan your next move when you see the majority of the park is closed due to a weather delay. It honestly feels like Universal didn't take this part into account when building. If this were to happen at Magic Kingdom, for example, there are tons of attractions, shows, and character meet and greets that are indoors and remain open. They even turn theaters into places of refuge when a major rainstorm happens. I think if Universal lowered prices at Epic and reduced capacity until they have more offerings, people would have a better experience and these review numbers would increase. Probably easier said than done, but these reviews and bad word of mouth can sour a park's reputation for years to come. I do believe Epic will be an amazing park once time passes and more offerings are added. As it stands right now, I wouldn't be able to recommend going to Epic Universe over the next year until things seem to improve. Those are just my thoughts on why Epic Universe is getting bombarded with negative reviews. Let me know in the comments below what you think Universal should do to give guests a better experience. And with that, I'll see you on the next one. Bye!